Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid, which I've personally found to be the easiest way to distribute music to streaming services. Teams is a new DistroKid feature which allows you to split payments among collaborators. Earlier this year, I did a few collaborative tracks with Guillaume, Jody, Jay, and Brian. We did one together, and one reason I never put those tracks out was because I honestly wasn't sure what to do about revenue splitting or allocating funds to people, because everyone worked really hard on those songs, and I felt like it was only fair to split any form of revenue that we earned from them. But now there's DistroKid Teams, which makes revenue splitting really easy. You can have an unlimited amount of collaborators on a track. You can change the splits at any time. You can add or remove collaborators at any time. You can go back and check out previous splits. The percentage collaborators get is private. If collaborators don't already have a DistroKid account, they can create one for $10. And one thing to note is that releases are never delayed based on somebody slow to join or who just doesn't want to join for whatever reason. And as always, DistroKid never takes a cut. If collaboration is something you're interested in, let's do it. DistroKid Teams will make it easy to split up any funds we generate from our tracks. Use the VIP link in the description to get 7% off DistroKid. Model 12 headphone routing can be tough to figure out depending on your needs. What I found works best is using the sub output for headphones. Why is this the best option? These buttons allow you to select which bus a channel gets routed to. Main is main bus, sub is sub bus, and solo is solo bus, but solo bus is where things get confusing. If you've worked in a DAW before, you might think that the solo buttons solo this channel and mute all of the other tracks so you can listen to this track soloed or by itself. But by default, this is not how the solo buttons work. By default, the solo buttons route a channel to the solo bus when pressed. The next logical question becomes, well, here's the fader for the main bus, here's the fader for the sub bus, where is the fader for the solo bus? This is a question that will be answered in a future video dedicated to the solo bus and its functions. For now, the best way to get up and running with headphones for recording, playback, and mixing with the Model 12 is to use the sub output and a headphone amp. I've had this Behringer HA400 headphone amp for a while. I use it to split the headphone signal on the 424 for multiple sets of headphones when recording. I'm doing the same thing with the Model 12. By using the HA400 or a headphone amp with the sub output, you can record, playback, and mix in headphones. Why does using the headphone amp solve this particular use case? Well, I want to use the Model 12 as a multi-track recorder similar to how I use the 424. An issue I've ran into with both machines is the way the headphone and monitor signals are routed. There's no way to isolate the mix so that it is either in only the headphones or only the monitors. What I want to be able to do is record, playback, and mix on both monitors and headphones independently. There's no issue doing this with the monitors. Simply unplug the headphones. It's not the most elegant solution, but it works. If you want to listen and mix on headphones alone though, this is where things get tricky. The first option is to listen back to the headphones through main. This would work in a studio situation where you have an isolated control room and are running the mix out to people in a live room, but for home recording, main is not a solution. If you mute main, you mute the monitors and the headphones. The second option is to use the sub output and a headphone amp. You need a HOSA breakout cable and an 1/8 inch adapter, unless your cable is 1/4 inch TRS. Sub output is basically a second main output. You can mute the main fader and record, playback, and mix using the sub output and headphones. It's simple and intuitive. When you want to shut the headphones off and turn the monitors back on, mute the sub output and unmute main or turn down the headphone amp volume. Easy. I just hope these buttons are good for 1,000,000 presses. The third option is using the solo bus. Tune in and check out part 2 where I'll cover the solo bus and while I'll probably never use it for headphones. Special thanks to Steve, Jody, Andrew, Patty, Matt, Devin, Cody, Tebow, and all my patrons at patreon.com/424recording who help support the work I do at 424 Recording. Godspeed, my friends, and as always, make sure you do something you want to do today.